Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm pretty sure you know that the democracy is the best uh, way of conducting a society, to organize a society. Elected officials will fulfill the masses' demands, desires, whatever they want. They represent them to fulfill goals. That's why they get elected. So if I want from tomorrow, let's say, all the neighborhoods to be painted in green, and we are a majority that want that, and we elect a Gigi, when he gets in the position we send him as a president or whenever he has the authority, he's gonna be painting all the cities in green. That's how it works. Whatever we want. Now we have a little problem. I'm gonna show you this. Are you familiar with this little quote? If voting made a difference, they wouldn't let us do it. Now, this is false. This was attributed to Mr. Mark Twain, Mr. Clemens, right? That's his real name. So, if voting made a difference, they wouldn't let us do it. Why? Well, I will explain why. And here he says, incorrect attribution, which is correct. The problem is, here, they're going to make a point. They're going to make a point that, hey, actually, this is baboonish, man. It's not right. It's not, it's not. Don't worry about it. Democracy is you elect someone and that's going to be doing what you want. That's the system it is. Well, pension, retirement. I live in the United States of America. I am very familiar with countries, most countries who have democracy have problems with pension. When I think about retirement, I'm talking about government retirement, not private retirement funds that you invest during your life. People think about it like, God damn, I can't survive. Think of the Canadians. My fellow Canadians know exactly how that is. I think when you retire in Canada, you get about $600 or $900 from the government. The government supposedly does what you tell them. So you would be, let's say in Canada, and I will give you the example in the United States of America as well. You should be making sure that your retirement will make you have a nice life. On the contrary, no, you barely make it. In the United States of America, the Social Security, when it comes back to you, it's about a maximum about $1,750. That's how much you get. That's the pension. You can't survive with that. So that means you would have an incentive as a human being. Hey, when I'm going to be retired, I want to make sure that I live decent. I worked all my life. I provided. Now I should live decent. Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you vote for people that say that? Where are those people? I am not a socialist, but I'm not a baboon either. Why do we have a country? Why do we have governments? To make sure that they benefit us. Oh, you're a populist. Maybe I am. But wouldn't I vote for something that would benefit me? So remember, that attribution is wrong. But I don't care about the attribution. Is it true? Because I don't care who the messenger is, who told me that. I care what it's in the statement. Is it true, beneficial to me? And it is. And I will explain. If we are allowed to really vote and elect the people who will really do what we want them to do, we will have a good pension. Now, I know people in America, I met some of them, were regimented to think, but that's impossible. It can't be done. We always done like this. You have to be responsible. Okay, I agree with that statement to a point. In a society with an average IQ of, let's say, 100 points, 100. That means you got, and you don't go too much, too much above and too much below. Think about people who are below 86 IQ. It's 40%, about 40% of the population. What do you do with them? Below 86 IQ, it's called tardation. That's all it's called. What do you do with those people? You will have them. You can't use eugenics to breed only the best and it will be having only 140 IQ. No, you can't do that. So what do you do with 40% of a population that has below 86? You tell me. Well, you have to help them somehow, or you use them as they are strong to work hard. You keep them to a certain level, And then when they run out of warranty, which is you get older and you're going to be undesirable because you're not going to be efficient anymore, you will not provide them with the incentives to leave. That is, I'm going to give you $600 pension. Therefore, you can't survive. Therefore, bye-bye, the sooner the better. For whom? Who has that interest? Your government, they say, works for you. So you would have an incentive at any age. You should be taught in school, in family, in everyday life that when you retired and you worked hard with your 81 IQ or 72 IQ and pushing that button for 35 years in your life, at the end, if you want to just stay at home and drink chips and watch stupid TV, you should be having that because the income, the pension should be there. Now people say, well, you can't do that. Of course you can. What is United States' public debt? How many trillions we have? Why? So if you can afford having that, you can't provide the basic. Now the basics in a society are this, right? To eat, food, alimentation, to survive, right? You need shelter, so you can't leave people staying in cardboard boxes over there. You need medical, right? You need that. If you're civilized, these are the basics. Food, shelter, and make sure you don't get sick and die, obviously. Now, if we are the most civilized country in the world and you don't have insurance, but you can vote to have it, how is that possible? Is the Constitution blocking that? Okay, we can change that, can we? The elected officials that we sent to Washington with two-thirds, they could change the Constitution. Hey, hurrah, all right? So again, if we are, what was the quote, the exact quote? If voting made a difference, they wouldn't let us do it. I mean, we would vote for everything that we should have. Now, there should be some, restraints, the masses, but this is democracy, isn't it? Or is democracy ruled by an elite who knows better what's good for the population? Okay, I give you that. Then some people know more, some people know less. But what are you doing with 40% of the population? Now, if I worked all my life, I should be stressed. I'm going to be, my God, I'm going to be at a pension. I'm going to have $600 a month as a pension in Canada, or $900. Is that enough? Or $1,700 in the US as Social Security? And people say, well, no, you have to be responsible and invest in private if you want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm part of a society, calls itself democratic. I'm voting for the ones who's going to give me that. Why not? So I don't care if Mark Twain said it or not. I care if that is really true or is not true. And I think it works just fine. If our voting really made a difference, we wouldn't have we couldn't. All right, my friends. This is just a basic. I don't want to go and say, we can talk hours, say, oh, it's unsustainable and so on. A lot of programs are there. A lot of investments are out there. And this is not basic. Not basic in your family. Remember, a country, a nation, is an extended family. We should care for one another. The basics should be insured by all of us. Otherwise, what do you do with people that are incapable of working? You just let them die over there? And this is your country? Is this civilization? I don't think it is. As I said, I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist by any means. I am a person who looks at things and make them work based on some certain values, principles. And if we think we are all good, I guarantee you're not going to find a lot of people saying, you know what, man, you can't find a job. I don't care. You should just be over there on the concrete floor, on the sidewalk, and die. You're going to find people like that. But when you vote, they will be greatly outnumbered, don't you think? With people with compassion, with strength, and they will do that. It's the principle of a nation, of a family. They just lost, and we vote. But we vote for other interests. How many times you've seen these operatives in the media raising the questions to the baboons in the elected officials who want to be your elected officials, presidents and all that, saying, hey, who sets the agenda? Who sets the agenda? These are the 7 subjects, topics the future elected officials will discuss. What about us? Why don't we make a referendum? Let's make a referendum and see. Okay, how much you would think would be appropriate for retirement? $3 a year, $6 a year, or $3,000 a year? $3,000 a year, Jesus Christ. $3,000 a month. What do you think is going to be voted? $2 a year? $3 a year? Or it's going to be, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000. I mean, if we are in charge, don't you vote for your basics? For your survival basics. Basic needs. Think about it. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.